Is it working?
I think so.
You guys, hey. So we would have been here about 10 minutes ago if
I didn't have to shoot myself in the mouth. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Jay's a little edgy now because everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and now here we are. But hey,
like literally everything, guys.
Happy
It was
Sunday.
like, hey, happy
now
Sunday.
Now is not a time for bitching.
Happy Sunday. Well, there's only 3 of you, so I can bitch for 6 of you now. So I can bitch for
Happy
a second.
Easter.
I'm Hey,
Kelly.
I had everything
Cheers.
set up in advance, so it was like, this is going to be a streamlined,
flawless,
easy, flawless. Like,
maybe that's what Jinx did.
Probably
was just the extra prep you put into
it.
Then our camera didn't work. The microphone didn't work.
Microphone
Happy
didn't work at
Easter,
first, and it was like, and then I was like, well, let's just get this started, and then we can figure that out. And then the camera didn't work, so we had to restart that computer. It was just like technical difficulties. But we're here now, and you guys are here now, and that's all that really matters. We're up and running. Yes, Trish.
Brought it up, but it's not seeing the stream. What, Tina?
I don't know what that means, but
Happy
there's
Easter,
technical
Debbie.
difficulties. That's what's happening. Hey,
Jamie. Booby baby. Hey.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, guys.
We missed you, Mickey. Happy Easter, everyone. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
What a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. With the exception of the last 15 to 17 minutes, it has been a beautiful day.
It really has.
Are you ready to get back into that mind space?
I am in that mind space. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm like, no, I'm lying. I'm ready.
You should have heard her sound checks, though, because she was not being nice to the microphone.
No, I was not. I was calling it bad names.
Mean words.
Bad words. I was calling it bad words.
Totally bad words. Yeah, so y'all missed that.
But welcome, everyone. And thank you guys for joining us right here on a Sunday night. We are the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, and we do a podcast every Sunday night called Back in the Closet. And we are, as you can see, in our closet, because this is where the acoustics are the best in our home. So not that it's a big closet, and it continues to get smaller and smaller, actually, because we still haven't
thrown out our skinny clothes because
we still haven't donated the clothes that we need to do, and shoes. Oh my God, the shoes. We have so much that we need to donate, get rid of, out of our closet. We haven't. But hey, that might make the acoustics better. Who knows?
I don't know, but I feel like you're starting to tilt back into your nasty attitude that you had about 6 minutes ago.
Let's start a podcast.
Let's do a podcast.
Let's start a podcast, guys. We're talking today about paying attention to your kitties.
Ooh, one of my
because you should always pay attention to your kitties. And let's go there.
I've got one right here. I'm watching. Baby girl.
Welcome to episode number 0067 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. Guys, we're just I personally, Jay, am trying not to have a bad attitude right now because we just had a lot of technical difficulties, and it kind of pursed me off a bit.
Pursed you off?
Pursed me off.
The truth is, without technology,
nothing would work.
There would be nothing.
We would not have life.
A couple glitches here and there, even though it was very untimely, as it were.
That's what it was. But
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I still feel your fidgetiness from here.
Well, I mean, Here's my thing. She's
upset with her microphone because it was an expensive microphone, and we have issues from time to time. But is it the microphone or is it the computer? We don't know. We haven't switched out the cable. We should probably try to do that. Either way, our microphone is not working right now. So we're just going to try to grab it from the built-in microphone. And then on this computer here that we're watching every beautiful human on YouTube, the camera wasn't working. It said it couldn't find the camera. So we had to restart everything. But without technology,
I feel like you have the nasty attitude now. Like you're the one that's like rehashing this whole thing. I was like ready to move on.
Okay.
But you're like the one bringing it back up just with a smile on your face. But I feel like as your face gets redder, you're actually about to like blow smoke from your ears because you were just as pissed as I was. I'm just over it now, and you keep going.
No, I just get stressed when you're stressed. It's like I'm a cat. Like I pick up on your stress.
I'm a cat.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do a podcast about paying attention to our kitties. I think this is such a great topic. Jay came up with it. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So today's podcast is about like paying attention to your kitties, about how closely we pay attention to our cats. And it was stemmed by a message that we got recently from someone that said, my cat is very old, and they and this kitty eats and drinks and pees and poops, but is crippled up is it okay if I just let him die at the house, or is that cruel? That was actually verbatim the question. And, somebody from an outside perspective can't necessarily answer that verbatim. Crippled up is like, could mean one thing to me versus something else to you. But my thought process was, especially when, and this isn't a podcast on end of life, but especially when it comes to like end of life, we want to pay attention to our cats, because when we pay attention to them, we know, are you in pain? Do you need my help transitioning? Do you need my help making this, move over the rainbow bridge, if you will, or transitioning to the next step in life? But we have to know that as cat parents, we have to pay attention in order to know where our cats are at on their different levels. And so then I was thinking, oh, wow, there's so many things that we really, as cat parents, we have to pay attention to. And I'm not saying overly pay attention or no, I don't think there's such a thing as overly paying attention. I think you should pay attention to everything. If your cat sneezes, then register that in your head. Okay, that cat just sneezed. That doesn't mean your cat sneezes, you run them to the vet. That doesn't mean your cat sneezes, you stress out like everything's going crazy.
Maybe something just tickled their nose.
It could be that I had a sneezing fit this morning. I think something like got up in my nose. I had a sneezing fit.
But are you deathly ill?
I am not sick. I am not sick at all, right? Like, I'm not saying be overly stressed about every single thing that your cat does. What I'm saying is pay attention to it. Pooh Bear was sneezing the other day. He sneezed. Adrienne said, he just sneezed. And I was like, did he? Yeah, I think that was Pooh Bear. He's licking his nose. And then it was like, oh, he just sneezed again. And then I was like, okay, well, let's add some Vira X. Oh, maybe we should cue the sponsored
audio post.
Virax is an all-natural antiviral supplement for your cats.
You're really killing
cats' colds.
No, but here's the thing, though. Pooh Bear sneezed once. He has an autoimmune disease, so we know that he's more susceptible to many things. He sneezed once. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. At 10 o'clock in the morning, he had another sneezing fit. 10:30, more sneezes. Now he's starting to sound a little congested. It's like, okay, yes, let's give him a supplement. He sneezed about twice more, and that was the end of that.
Yep.
That was the end of that. With Pooh Bear, because of his autoimmune disease, paying attention to the frequency of something as simple as sneezing, which is not a reason to panic.
But regardless of the autoimmune disease, you should pay attention to the frequency of anything when it comes to your cats, right?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is that when there is an odd behavior or something that may look symptomatic, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's like poops. You guys know how I feel about cat poops. I am huge about paying attention to, ideally, each
your cat
cat's
shit crazy.
Poops look like every day, so that I can make sure that healthy poops means a healthy cat. What goes in comes out. It's all good. It's flawless. It's right.
Not everything that goes in comes out.
But every now and then, maybe there will be Jack. Just last week had what I considered to be a loose stool, and I was like, "What is that about? Did he get into something? Did you give him a weird treat? What's going on? What's happening?" So it became a priority for me to make sure that I caught him pooping, and within the next 24 hours to make sure that his poop wasn't starting to go off the rails.
Right.
And it was fine the next time. So an abnormal little loose stool
isn't always cause to just run to the vet or to freak out. Cats, I mean, they're in, they're not like people necessarily, but they are in many ways like people. And we think like, I have runny stools.
Wow. I don't think we were ever looking to get that much information from you.
I'm just saying like, okay, we got drunk, ate Taco Bell, or I just had like.
Right, but when's the last time our cats got drunk and ate Taco Bell? I would like to see a little more.
Maybe not. Maybe there's not even a reason. Sometimes it's because I ate a more healthy meal, like a salad.
A salad shooter.
We call it a salad shooter.
Right.
Like it's like
maybe we switch up a protein. Maybe their body is adjusting to that.
Got a little bit of loose stools now. I mean, there's and this. is also not just about
Is this
poop.
making sense to any of you guys?
I don't know.
I know.
This is also just not about
poop. I mean
poop.
to make it all about poop. But I do think it's really important. So here's a couple things that I think are really helpful. When it comes to paying attention to our cats, it doesn't mean being a helicopter mom. It really doesn't. What it does mean is being consistent about how they're eating. Are they eating the normal amount? How they're peeing and pooping? Is there any kind of difficulty in the litter box? Making sure that everything looks healthy. Any weird things like Pooh Bear sneezing the other day, like pay attention to the weird things and pay attention to frequency.
And it's not even, I mean, yes, all of that is so important, but also like just today we saw Pooh Bear, he just walked with like his head tilted a little bit. And we were
with
like,
his ear down. It's like, was his ear bothering him? What's going on? Is his
ear bothering him? We were like following him around it was probably,
45 seconds.
Maybe. And
then he went
went normal and everything was fine. Right. But we pay attention to those little things because they could mean something like, are you in pain? Is there something wrong? Is something going on? And I feel like the more we pay attention and guys, really, honestly,
you should finish one sentence before you start another.
Well, the reason this, I know, I never do. But the reason this is such a hot topic, I think, is that cats are such convenience animals, right? They're such convenience pets. People have them around because they don't pay attention to them and they just come up.
You can leave them for a weekend. As long as they have a litter box, they're fine. And some water, of course.
Right. Like put out some stuff and things. And then when you come home from work or when you're laying down in bed, then they'll come up and they'll snuggle you. Ideally. And that's really cool. Right? Like that's what I want. I want my cat that comes up but you don't pay attention to them. They pay attention to you.
We've gotten a number of messages lately that have been like, I come home from work or I've come home from school and my cat won't love on me. What's wrong with my cat?
Right.
And it's like, well, you got to build trust with your cat. You absolutely have to build trust. Dr. Mercy Kosk has a great blog on her website.
And sometimes cats just don't want to.
Trust.
Maybe they're
some cats are more affectionate than others. For instance, Jay's not a hugger. I tend to be a hugger. I'm an introvert. She's an extrovert. There are different dynamics that go on. You would think that the extrovert would be the big hugger and whatever, but I'm actually the hugger, but I'm also the introvert. Jay has a bubble the size of Texas around her, but she's also the extrovert. So cats have different personalities too. So it's a matter of learning your babies, paying attention to body language. I think it's so interesting. We were talking with Poppy about facial expressions. It's like cats are not very expressive. Cats don't have the facial muscles of like the eyebrows and the smile and all that stuff to actually be able to convey emotion. They just were not built with that because cats evolved to really pick up on things from a distance. So they're big on body language. Like paying attention to a cat's tail and understanding how to read your cat's tail is huge. Especially our Panthers.
Oh my God, I cannot wait until Lindsay's here and gets to just like
watch
their tails.
It's incredible. But they literally talk to us and each other with their tails. So understanding a cat's body language is so big, and taking things at their own pace is really important. But paying attention to our cats in general, there are things that we can do to be more proactive. For example, I like to keep an eye on our cat's weight, especially our older babes. I like to weigh them. I try to weigh them once a week. It's been about 2 weeks since I've weighed Pooh Bear or
Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist.
Did you forget his name?
No, I thought I said Oliver Twist, and I was thinking of Pooh Bear, but I was like, no, I just said Pooh Bear. Wow.
We're drinking rosé.
Pooh Bear and Oliver Twist. Cheers. Just to make sure that they're maintaining the healthy weight that they need to be at. Pooh Bear actually needs to drop about another 2 pounds. So as soon as we get under 19 pounds, we're going to have a little celebration. But keeping an eye on our cat's weight is important if we're able to. And I'm not saying you need a cat scale. I literally will weigh myself 2 or 3 times to make sure the scale's telling me on the human scale. Then I'll pick up whichever baby I'm weighing, and I do weigh all of them, but Pooh Bear and Oliver, I keep an extra eye on. And then I weigh myself with the cat, and then I subtract it. And Norris comes in pounds and ounces, so it's pretty accurate. If anything were to really start changing, I would notice it. Right. The other thing is I love doing a rub down at least once a week on all of our babies. And that means just from behind the ears, their head, all the way down their body, their tummies, their legs, making sure that nothing seems like it's causing them any discomfort, making sure that I don't feel any bumps or bruises. We caught mites on Pooh Bear because of his outside time, because of the little rub down, and felt like these scabby things. And we were like, what is this all about? And so we had to treat mites. So little things that we can do to pay attention, because our cats don't have the facial muscles to express to us whether or not they're feeling happy or
they do with their eyes sometimes. It's like big or small or squinty or eye slow blinks. But you can't see that in the rest of their face. So you don't know what that raised eye is. Big eyes, glow balls are all the time.
Oh my God, I love this comment. Cat Mom Confession said, my Banjo's tail vibrates when he sees me. That is a happy tail. Straight up vibrating. Oh my God.
I love that so much.
That's a happy cat. I think it's so exciting because our cats do want to tell us what's going on, and they are. I read a study just a couple weeks ago. It was actually done in 2020 or 2019 even, talking about how cats communicate and how, there's always this comparison to dogs. Cats are not dogs. They're never going to be like, I'm so happy you're home. Let's go for a car ride. Let's go for a walk. They're never going to be a small dog. Cats are cats. They're not dogs. But it was talking about how, and for years we thought this, that cats are so much more attached to their space, to their home, to their comfort area. And yet they are super attached to their humans.
Yeah.
And there's so many videos coming out, especially on TikTok now, where they'll videotape their cat when their human leaves, and their behavior and how they wait and how they pace and how it's just fascinating to me. And this study was actually talking about the incredible attachment that cats do have to their owners, even though their owners feel like they don't miss me at all if I'm gone.
Right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's also a beautiful thing when you actually pay attention to your cats, because you get them better. You have a closer bond, I think. And then you also have, what am I looking for?
You have also a baseline to gauge weird behavior by.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly, words that I didn't have, but yes, we have now an idea of what our cats are, who they are, and what they need, and what they normally act as, and when they have an abnormal personality or an abnormal behavior, then we know that it's time to. Are you laughing at me?
I'm looking at it.
Oh my goodness!
I know. But when they do something out of the ordinary, then we
know.
Oh, that's
then we know
that's new.
Yeah.
Every now and then, because we do pay attention to our babies quite a bit, as seasons change, and let's talk about Zorro today.
Oh God, or Madison even.
Oh my God, yeah. But as seasons change, you'll notice that where your cat has their safe space to lay, their favorite sunspot, their most favorite blanket, that stuff changes. And I always will get a little nervous when I'll be like, wait a minute, that's a new spot. What are you doing in there? Or right?
Well, and we get so many messages from people that are like, how do I get my cat to use their bed? I'm trying to, and it's cats, they choose new places they want to be. And sometimes it's in a box, and sometimes it's just on the floor somewhere. And sometimes it's in a sunspot. And sometimes it's let them be where they want to be. They might not want to be in the bed that you just purchased for them. But
maybe they'll get there.
But yeah, they move around. But also when the temperature changes,
oh my gosh.
Right now.
So in Vegas, we went from being at a good 60, maybe hitting 70 degrees, to ramping up to 90 degrees at the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how crazy it is. Zorro and Madison, especially, both more noticeably than the others right now, are blowing their coat.
Yeah.
So they have just experienced the warm weather, and they're getting rid of their winter undercoat. They are dropping it like it's hot. It is unbelievable. And this is a great time too. If you're paying attention to your cat doing that, you can help with supplemental grooming so that there aren't these, Zorro's not over there. And I thought last night, wow, he is really grooming himself a lot. I wonder if he's itchy, or I wonder if, right, all the helicopter mom things that we do. And no, he's just shedding. So he's trying to get rid of his undercoat. Hi, baby Angel.
And sometimes our cats will, shed a little bit more when they're just super purring and lovey.
Right. And cats will stress more when they're stressed. If you go to the vet and it's oh my God, all of a sudden your cat out of the blue is shedding everywhere. That's because each follicle has multiple hairs in it. And when they get to the vet, it's their skin tenses up or whatever, and it actually releases the hair follicle so that all these hairs fall out at the same time, out of one follicle. All to say, back to blowing the coat. So Zorro was shedding like crazy. This is a great time of the year for us to pay attention to that, so that tomorrow morning, if Zorro decided to wake up hazy, if he decided to wake up with a hairball, we're not freaking out that, oh my God, why does he have a hairball all of a sudden?
Right.
Because he's ingesting way more fur than he can.
Right. And
process.
It also tells us, hey, they're blowing their coat right now. What that means is we need to brush them more often. We need to make sure that we're keeping up with their grooming so that they're not getting those uncomfortable hairballs. So all of these things are things that we can do to really just pay attention to. Oh my God, I wish you could see her. Really pay closer attention to our cats, meaning like, let's create a relationship with our cats. Let's literally sit down. I know this is the hardest for me. Adrienne can do this all day long, every day. I am like, go, very, very busy all the time. I'm just like, I have to be doing something.
Meanwhile, right? Adrienne is over in her little bubble.
Adrienne can sit there and be like, I was trying to do this, but the cat jumped up in my lap, so I can't do it anymore. And I'm sorry, but now I'm stuck. Like, and I'm just like, I'm never sitting down long enough for a cat to jump up in my lap. I definitely
pay more attention to the cats. Than
right. Well, no, I mean.
No, I do.
She probably does. I would have to put on my game a little bit harder if it weren't for her, because she would be like, who just sneezed? Can you come down here and tell me who just sneezed? And I'll be like,
baby.
Where? Who? Where? But no, I mean, you get a closer bond with your cats, understanding them. You really, really enjoy, like right now I'm watching Friday play with what is that?
Shoe insole.
It's a shoe insole. Whose is that?
I thought it was yours, but
we have to clean up this closet.
We should clean out our closet.
It's a shoe insole, and she's having so much fun. Now she's bathing her brother. Like it's interesting and fun to be able to pay close attention to your cats, but it's also very helpful with their health and well-being by really just, clocking in, not being like, oh, cat's at home, not a big deal. I'm not saying every second of every single day you have to.
No, but I have to say, too, that this past year has been really illuminating, especially for us, having so many people reach out, because there are a lot of people that were gone for 8, 10, 16 hours a day. Mm. And then during the shutdown, which is starting to open up everywhere, during the shutdown, they were home all day, every day. And they were like, why is my cat doing this? What is up when my cat does that? What does it mean when this happens? Like, they were starting to pay attention to their cats. We had so many questions about a lot of very normal things, but things that a lot of cat owners hadn't had the chance to observe before. Right. So it is very exciting to have extra time where you can pay attention. And routine is big for our cats. So whatever schedule we're on is going to be great for observation. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, I mean, if we're on a schedule, we can put our cats on a schedule, and our cats like schedule, just period. So it may be, I'm going to cut you. But it may be like anything, right? Like whatever schedule, like Robin is on she's like, I sleep.
Oh, she's a night owl.
Like I'm a night owl.
So she'll go to sleep at like 4:00 in the morning and wake up at 11:30 in the
morning. Right before I go to, I'm going to feed them breakfast right before I go to sleep. They're going to get on that schedule because that's how it works. And that's how our cats do work. That's how we all work, right? Like if your parents are on a certain schedule, you're on a certain schedule, whatever it is, like, yes, that's how it works.
Usually.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Ideally.
Usually. Right. But routine is comforting for our cats. But I do think it's very exciting. So title of the podcast is how often do you what was it? How often do you really pay attention
what the title of the podcast
to your cats? Because Becky was like, explain the title of this podcast to me. Just paying attention to our cats can be awesome because it does create a baseline of normal behavior. When we pay attention to things like their litter box habits, their weight, their food and water intake, all of those things. Then their behaviors, their body language. Then we have an intentional baseline where to gauge anything weird that may pop up, as something as simple as Pooh Bear sneezing or him walking around with a tilted ear. Like, is something happening, or is this just like,
does he have an ear itch?
Right. Would this be like me getting a sneezing fit, or me having a Charlie horse?
And then me being like, oh my God, okay. Like, do we need to go to the doctor? Right. Do you want to go to the ER? What do we want to do?
Right. We have a baseline to gauge things by, and then we can observe and understand that certain things are not, there is no reason to panic. Just like pay attention. Paying attention to our cats is an incredible tool that we can use to really keep an eye on them especially as they age, right? I know you started this off with a end of life situation, but that's the kind of situation we went through that with Scotch, right?
When you know your cat and they get to that certain age, then you know if they are saying, if they are saying to you, hey, I need some help transition, you just know. There's no written down lesson on how to know if your cat wants to transition to the next world, or your cat wants to die, right? If we want to say it like that.
Well, when it's time.
You don't, there's no like written rule book for that. It is, you have to know your cat. And if you know your cat, then you know when they are saying, like we knew with Scotch, when he was saying, I need help. I need help. I'm ready. I know you're trying everything you can, but I'm ready to go. And
Dr. Karen Becker has this great exercise that she does in a series that she calls winding down. Not to make this an end of life situation or podcast at all, but I think it's something beneficial for every pet parent to think about, is while your pet is healthy, like when we're going through what we're doing right now, we're making a baseline of their normal, happy, healthy behavior so that we can kind of catch anything that seems off and pay attention to that. She says at that time in their lives, think for a moment while we're not emotionally not attached, but inflamed by the issue, that we can look at our beautiful cat or pet or whatever and say, when it comes to when they are 25, 26 years old or 40 and things are starting to slow down, what are the decisions that I would like to make? What is the quality of life that I'm going to look for? What do I feel my cat would want me to do? And that was something that Scott really gifted us with, because we had that opportunity to really see his quality of life was not what we knew he wanted. It was a couple hard months, and maybe, I think the one regret maybe was that we waited too long. But only a cat parent can ever answer that question of when it's time.
Yeah.
But it also gave us pause to have someone ask us, do I just let my cat die at the house? It's like, you want to pay attention.
Right.
You want to know when there's something else that you can do, or if you actually need to help. So,
because end of life, we all wish that our cats would just go in their sleep. Right. And that's what we wish for us. That's what we wish for our loved ones, whether it be animal or human. We all wish that everybody just goes to sleep and then transitions.
Just decides to go peacefully in their sleep.
That would be the ideal situation.
We've been cat parents for 26 years, and that's not happened yet. So I think it is worth paying attention. And I think it is worth thinking about a plan for the end of life kind of thing. But in the meantime, during life, it's so exciting and bonding and rewarding to pay attention
and it's
get to know our cats.
Yeah, it's super helpful, because if we catch things, if we're paying attention, then we catch things before they escalate.
Right.
And our cats are stoic.
And that's why
they don't tell us that they don't feel well. They play, they pee, they poop, they eat, they do all the things, the stuff and things that we're like, oh, that means healthy. But
they seem fine.
But sometimes they're actually masking their pain because they have issues. And we, as cat parents, if we are paying attention to them, can catch those little small,
and this really isn't meant to be like an alarming thing. No. Like, oh my God, pay attention to your cat. They might be dying.
No, we're saying pay attention.
This is really meant to be, our cats have so much to tell us, and our cats are really always expressing something. And it's really exciting if we can kind of, as Dr. Marcy Koski says, kind of look at their life from their perspective. They have so much to share, and they have such personalities. And it's really exciting when we can kind of tap into that intentionally. We call it paying attention to them, but we get to tap into it intentionally. And then it does make it super helpful to be able to tell if anything seems off. And that's something that's really helpful for us as cat parents. But in the meantime, we have this extraordinary bonding experience with each precious little personality that lives in our house.
Yeah.
Right, Friday?
She's up in the shoes now.
She's like, I'm looking for a shoelace to
I
eat.
was thinking maybe you should probably get rid of some of these shoes.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys.
Anyway.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
I hope some of that made sense.
We
feel
don't
like we
always make
rambled.
sense. We
That's true.
always ramble. That's what Back in the Closet is.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
oh my God, she
everyone.
found the other
She
insole.
found the other insole. Oh, wait.
Where are those coming from?
Can
Is
I
she
show
pulling
them?
those out of your shoes?
I have no idea.
Look at that.
Here you go. Here you go. I know.
I think she just
Yeah.
pulled it
They're
out
like
of her shoe.
everywhere. I don't know.
Debbie, I
Whose
love you
shoe
so much.
was it? I don't even know.
It's your
which-
Nikes.
Oh, the old Nikes, like not the okay. So now I have Nike.
No, those are Adidas.
I have Adidas. I have Adidas now,
Right.
and then I had Adidas before. So these are
those
my
your casual shoes.
which
Those are your
is
old
why
running
we
shoes.
have to get rid of.
Gotta clean the closet.
My guys,
I'm sorry,
I love you so
Mama.
much.
Okay.
I never meant to hurt you.
It takes a while to get to the closet part, but clean up
Never
the
meant
closet.
to make you cry, but tonight
I'm cleaning out my closet. We love you
Okay,
guys.
we love you guys so much.
Happy Easter. Happy Sunday. We'll see you
Yes.
guys soon.
Bye, guys.